に使えるかしら。
道を照らさん。
その憎しみ。
はぜよ。日輪の力。
ディオ。
ほう、向かってくるのか。逃げずにこのディオに近づいてくるのか。せっかく祖父のジョセフが私のザワールドの正体を試験終了チャイム直前まで問題を解いている受験生のような必死こいた気分で教えてくれたというのに。
近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。
ほうほう、では十分近づくがよい。ロードローラーだ。
Ilia is the name of the divine goddess worshipped by many in the game through the Ilian church. She is the first human ever to form a pact with a dragon to defeat Morsaity during the War of Binding. Her playable version is a 5-star permanent light Minnecaster unit, whose appearance is her physical manifestation 1000 years ago, when the world was quite like a futuristic city of sorts. She is very special not only due to her significance in the lore of Dragalia Lost, but also her weapon type and associated playstyle. As a Minnecaster she is very unique, having a very unique playstyle, with the core playstyle very similar to Minnecaster Joe. Her kit allows her to not only be more unique, but also very powerful and attractive to co-op play. Speaking of her kit, let's look into it right now. The standard form of Drive Buster deals 1880% damage and inflicts Flash Burn, a new damage over time affliction which deals a total of 291.2% damage throughout its duration. When Ilia has available cartridges, this skill deals 2088% damage, deals Flash Burn and consumes one cartridge. This skill costs around 3000 SP. Two things to note here, the first being Flash Burn, which is currently exclusive to Ilia. It is a bit less powerful than most damage over time skills, but lasts a bit longer. Damage over time skills are always welcome due to bonus damage, so it's great that Ilia can inflict it with a relatively low SP cost. The second thing is her cartridge system, which is actually more relevant with her second skill. The enhanced form of this skill deals slightly more damage, not a huge difference to put much attention into. Overall this skill is in line with top tier units with low SP cost, damage over time, and great damage modifiers. Alchemic enhancement also has two forms, costs 6120 SP, and can't be activated unless her gauge has at least one charge, with a maximum of 3 charges. The standard form of this skill converts these charges into cartridges, based on how many charges are available to Ilia. They last for 20 seconds. These cartridges are then used in 3 ways, which are enhancing her skill 1, turning her skill 2 into a damage dealing skill, and powering up Ilia's force strikes. The damage dealing form of this skill deals 2589% damage, and consumes 1 cartridge. This skill has a decent cost, and brings impressive buffs to her force strikes and even this very skill. Overall this skill is very important for Ilia, and the cost is acceptable enough to utilize it near constantly. We'll go into the alchemic gauge first before the abilities as it is not listed in the abilities section, quite similar to Galaralux. The gauge can be filled by all forms of non-skill based attacks, and has 3 charges at maximum. Each charge can turn into 1 cartridge when Ilia's skill 2 is used, and can be used to power up her skills and force strikes. For her force strikes, as long as cartridges are available, the force strikes will consume all cartridges, with the number of hits dependent on the amount of cartridges, up to 9 hits of 222% damage at maximum force strike level and 3 cartridges. Interestingly, the overdrive modifiers for her enhanced force strikes are lower than normal force strikes, but are the same as normal attacks. Her co-abilities include a relatively uncommon gauge accelerator ability and are all 2 common defense buffing chain co-ability that Ilia can trigger very easily. The Gauge Accelerator ability is quite good to break enemies faster, and somewhat compensates for her nerfed overdrive depletion effect on her enhanced force strikes. Ilia has 3 unique abilities, and all of them serve her very well. Her first ability, Enigma, allows her to deal 7 hits of 10% damage when dodging. This allows Ilia to stack combos quickly, with flurry based abilities being able to be triggered more easily. This is a very good skill, and is a skill that syncs extremely well with flurry based abilities. Epiphany is her resist type ability that grants her dual resistance against poison and curse. This makes Ilia the only unit in game to have dual resistances in one ability, while not being a Gala unit. This ability allows her to be very useful in all shadow co-op stages. Her last ability, Critical Output, increases Ilia's critical rate by 30% when she uses her cartridge. As she is able to have cartridges on her relatively quickly, this ability significantly increases Ilia's damage output, which is well received. Ilia's kit focuses on her cartridge system, which enhances her skills and force strikes. Her abilities grant her increased combo count when dodging, and increased crit rate when having cartridges. Hence, Skill Haste, Flurry Devastation, Flurry Strength crit damage, Force strike damage, Paralysis Punisher and Skill damage are offense abilities that work very well on her. For her weapon, the Agitaminacaster is a good one for her, due to the skills available on the weapon. The High Jupiter and Chimera Tech Minacasters also work well too. For her dragon, any dragon with offensive skills will do. Due to her very high combo count from dodging, I recommend Deka Kitten with his Flurry Strength ability. Other recommendations include Gala Thor, Corsaint Phoenix and Cupid. For her Wimprints, these will do. Though she is a new type, the loadout suitable for her is quite similar to most offensive loadouts, especially similar to dagger units due to her high combo count. This form of Ilia is far from what we all expected from the Divine Goddess. Setting deviations of expectations aside, Ilia is a great example of an excellent rifle user in game. Though Joe is a unit that we all use to learn how to play Manacasters, Ilia is superior to him in every aspect, with the cost of draining your summoning currencies and perhaps even your sanity during the prize showcase. Overall, she is one of the stronger light units introduced in the game, and is quite fun and easy to play. Though nowhere as broken as Galazina, she can still prove to be very potent in the hands of a very skillful player. Now go out there and dawn at the realization that the goddess Ilia that you knew from the Ilian church is not actually Ilia, but is actually someone close to her. If you had gone through the epilogue of Forgotten Truths, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's all from me. Moga out.
やるな。よし、俺も。
女神って呼ばれるだけのことあったでしょ？実感ないけど。